The Padres trade talks circling Dylan Cease keep going on. We need to talk about what other options are popping up for the San Diego Padres to do with or about their star pitcher this season. What's going on, everybody? Christian Pedersen back with another episode of Padres Digest. Thank you very much for tuning into the show where I, just a random dude on the internet, whine and opine and under and overreact about all things Padres. Want to talk about Dylan Cease specifically. As of right now, we got to talk about Cease, what he is to the Padres, potentially next year as an unrestricted free agent and or what he could represent financially. And then I think what we got to do with him both in the short and long term. Before we get to all that, if you could hit the subscribe button, it would be much appreciated. If not, no worries. Like I say, I'll always be here to talk baseball with you. All right, here's the here and the now, is that Dylan Cease, despite being 29 and a historically dominant, good strikeout pitcher, he's not having necessarily his greatest season nor a great season. So setting the table of he is a superstar in a contract year having a down year, the variables kind of are in all sorts of directions because hypothetically every player wants to have, their best year in a contract year, go out there, make the big, I don't get the sense that this is Dylan Cease apathetic, not wanting to be a San Diego Padre, just having checked out and like he's done or anything like that. I just think that for whatever reason, he's a power pitcher who his stuff is just a little off this year. And it has been some games where the Padres have the bullpen blows a lead late or some of that, but the numbers overwhelmingly, even if you remove one or two of those games, don't portray a stellar season, especially for a guy who, like I said, is headed into the last year of his contract. Here's what he's got going on right now for the San Diego Padres. Unrestricted free agent, and unless you guys have a completely different perception of what I think myself and the common core of Dylan Cease understandees and followers have, is the perception that this guy is not necessarily overtly in love with San Diego. Not to say that he hates it. He's really just not a very public guy. But that being said, with the Padres 8, 9, 7, 5.5, like the Padres, depending on when you view this, but they're somewhere between 5 and 10. Let's call it between 5 and 10 is a wide enough margin. But Padres are somewhere between 5 and 10 back of the Dodgers in the NL West. They're in the wild card conversation. It's still a little early to necessarily be looking at that on a day-to-day. There's just a lot of baseball left to play. So what do you do with Dylan Cease? Do you ride him out? And do you say, okay, he's gonna, once we get into September, get into that zone and that mode, and he can throw it down in the small sample size of we need only 5 good starts at the end of the year to get us into and through the playoffs. Sure, maybe he does that. Maybe he also, though, just doesn't have it this year, is for whatever reason just needing a new home and or a change of scenery to rehab this, and has all of he still has all of his stuff long term. But do the Padres want to risk top dollar on that? I don't know. I think with power pitching guys, sometimes their stuff does just go. I don't want to play that game. I don't want to come down on one side or the other here in this. I just want to say that for me, trying to justify that costing us top dollar in the off season over any other priority, it's not Dylan Cease re-signing for the Padres for top dollar is not a top tier priority for me. So I look at this now and I go, okay, we talk about acquiring other people's rentals. Can the Padres get rid of Cease because he is largely a rental to them in a way that benefits them? I come down a couple of ways on that, and I am fine with saying that there is no right answer. Somehow I will somewhat be wrong on this because he will have some great games, he will have some bad games, and whatever permutation of teams he plays for this year. But I'm fine with if we part with him. So hear me out on this. First trade that comes to mind is the New York Yankees are a team that desperately needs pitching. And I think you can talk yourself into change of market, big vibe. The Yankees can probably talk themselves into we can fix or tweak any star because we're New York, we're the Yankees, yada, yada, yada. We've got the supporting cast around him. So it makes sense that they would, with more injuries as of us recording this, there's been 2 more pitchers in the last month for them on their starting rotation to go on the IL. They are down big guys this year. They could use a 1-year rental type of guy, and I think this can be a chance for the Padres to refill and restock on some prospects. Here is a look at the Yankees' top prospects. The Padres have a relatively depleted and lackluster farm system in terms of top-tier talent. So I think my proposal is let's get rid of Cease I want Spencer Jones and then Bryce Cunningham or Ben Hess. So 1 outfielder and 1 pitcher in that deal. Everybody under the age of 25, but nobody in that, like, always an 18 or 19-year-old phenom prospect. Like, these are really solid, highly rated prospects that, to me, help us replenish the farm system a little bit, but also, if Yu Darvish or Matt Waldron can come back and fill the spot, like, maybe they can't do any worse than Dylan Cease has done and will continue to do. Like, I'll remind you, these numbers are not necessarily fantastic for Cease this year. Like, if I just pulled this up blind and I said, oh, this is Yu Darvish post an elbow issue, or this is Matt Waldron after 12 or 15 starts for the Padres this year, you'd be like, yeah, cool. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. So that's what I'm saying. Like, removing Cease, we can maybe do a little addition by subtraction on the starting rotation, improve our, just in aggregate. If you lower this to someone with an ERA of 4 even, that's not unrealistic to ask for some people. So the Padres get a chance to then make their pitching a little bit better, ? Add some prospects. We can look at what Spencer Jones, this is the outfielder that I like. He is admittedly a San Diego guy, so sure, I'm doing the cliche thing of let's bring the La Costa Canyon Maverick home. But also, he is a left-handed bat. He is a little bit of a slugging percentage, higher slugging percentage, struggled a little bit with the batting average, hits 15-plus home runs a year in the minors. So I think makes him someone that is very gettable and achievable with a Dylan Cease trade. Cease feels of adequate value in exchange for that. And this is somebody that then either we can give a shot at the back end and, like, worst case, we give him 10 at-bats. His projected ETA into the majors is this year. Like, he's going to be in the conversation to just get some playing time eventually somewhere. So, but is not, like I said, a 19-year-old phenom type of deal. Like, he'll be 24, 25 by the time he's starting his major league career. That's kind of a right-on-track type of developmental guy. And then next couple on downs, like I said, are 2 different pitchers. Here's Bryce Cunningham. Both of these guys are 22-year-old, playing in high A. So again, or no, I'm sorry, this is this is Bryce Cunningham's numbers. My apologies. Both of these guys are high A. Had to double check these there. But yeah, 5-1, sub-2 ERA. Solid dude. I don't project him out as any sort of like he comes in to fill in any holes this year, but is nice to add an arm that is a higher rated, more plus type of arm type guy. Like, just, these are top 5 prospects for the Yankees. These are very good players. These are not players, though, that the Yankees are obviously using right now. And Cease is a win right now move for them. So I think maybe this works out nicely. We'll show you the other pitcher. This is Ben Hess. Hess, technically the higher ranking of the overall prospects. He's 4-2 this season. But right there, those numbers, and I say this to someone to make a joke, better than Dylan Cease's numbers. Granted, very different. But please don't get at me in the comment section. I understand the difference between a high A and Major League Baseball. But yeah, somewhere in that, I think there's a cool deal for us to potentially trade Dylan Cease to the Yankees to replenish the farm system and maybe improve the pitching. Let me know, though, what you think. Drop a comment below. And if, like I said at the beginning, if you could hit the subscribe button, it would be much appreciated. Until next time, have faith, Padres fans. 2025 is going to keep on getting better.